Hello friend, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to show you how to be productive with Jakarta EE and Glassfish. Let's get right into it. I'm in Eclipse right now and I'm selecting a new project. I have chosen to create a Maven project. Now I'm going to be adding the group ID, then the artifact ID. Next thing we know, I will check the advanced section. There's nothing to add there. The packaging type is going to be WAR because we are creating WAR files. This is what a web archive looks like. Now click on finish. Our project is now open in Eclipse. Now the project is empty. It's only POM XML file, no Java file, nothing. This is how I'm going to show you how easy it is to start writing production code in Jakarta EE. Now I'm creating my Hello World application. I'm going to be extending application. Application is the JAX-RS application. Right now I have not set up my POM XML. As you can see, my POM XML file is completely empty, but we are going to be adding packages as we go. First thing I need to tell Maven is to choose Java 25 as the compiler version that I want to use. After I've done that, I have to add some dependencies. And this is where the magic happens, friends. Only single dependency is needed. I want to be adding the Jakarta EE API dependency, version 11. So this is basically as we speak today in March, the latest one. Now I want to be building the project. I need some plugins. The first one I need is the Maven compiler plugin. This is what I'm going to be adding. Fine. Now I need another plugin, which is the Wi-Fi plugin. So Maven WAR plugin, and that's it. As you can see, friends, with this POM XML, you can build any type of application that you want with Jakarta. Now let's go back to our application. I cannot import the JAX-RS application. Now I'm defining the path for my REST API. We are trying to build a REST application right here. So I set API as the path to my application. Now let's create a resource class. Hello Jakarta resource. After I've done that, I have resource class created. Now I'm adding a path. Let's call it hello. And let's implement a resource. Now I want to return an hello object as a JSON response. By default, I do not need to add any extra annotation to be able to return a JSON, because by default we'll be returning a JSON. So I'm returning a new hello object, which we're going to be creating. Let's choose a record. I'm creating a record right now and give it a name, string name. This is the record. Now going back to our resource class, I want to change the return type to hello, and our application is ready. Now let's switch to the terminal, add the application to Glassfish, which is running in the background, and let's see whether or not it's deployed. Oh, there's an error. What's going on? What's wrong here? It is not starting for some reason. So let's see our dependency. Everything should be fine there. Let's see the logs. Now it's complaining about illegal state X. Okay, I see. So now the POM XML needs to be declared as provided, because the Jakarta API is already present in the Glassfish application server. So now let's redeploy. You see it deploys in 558 milliseconds. This is the path name, which is really fast. Now let's switch to the terminal and send some requests. Curl localhost 8080/API/hello. This is not found. Oh, I forgot the context path. So request response hello. Localhost request response. Something is still missing. Let's see. Oh, we forgot to add our get method name. And now again, hello Jakarta. You see, extremely fast. Now let's check the hot code reload or hot deploy as they call it. I am doing fine. Hot code reload is really fast. Save, curl, exactly. Now going back again, save, exactly. Now the first part is done. It deploys in less than 1 second, which is extremely productive. Easy, fast, productive, right? Now let's do something fun. Let's create a user resource. We are going to be adding a new path to the resource, which is users, and we may want to create a user database. We are going to be choosing an in-memory database, and for that we need the method in our resource class to return all the users in our system. This is going to be a get method because you use get when you are trying to retrieve data from the backend. So I have my class user resource. I want to return a list of all the users that I have in my system. I'm going to be using a user service for that, and the user service is going to be the one responsible to actually finding all the users. So I'm going to be delegating this query to my user service. So I respond with an OK, and I inject my user service into my user resource class. Now we're going to be creating our user service because it doesn't exist yet. Now let's create a new user service class. New service. Now finish. Now user service class is created. Now let's add the find all method. Find all, we want to be returning a list of all the users that we have in our system. Now the user object is not there yet. We need to create that user. But first of all, we create a database to be holding all our users. We're going to be holding them in memory. So just to explain what's going on, I'm going to be using a concurrent hash map. The key is long, the value is user. Once I get the hash map, I need to initialize my database. We are going to be using a static initializer, but before that, let's create our user. I'm going to be choosing records. A user has a name and an email. Now that we have our user created, I need to initialize my user database. So I'm going to be using a static initializer here, just to cheat a little bit. Now I need to add some users to my database. First thing I do is user db database put. I need an ID generator to generate an ID, and so let's create a way to generate an ID. I'm going to be choosing an atomic long for that. With an atomic long, I can always increase the ID of my users in the database in an atomic manner. So I'm choosing get and increment, and I'm adding a new user. Let's give it name John, and an email john at jakarta.ee. Now let's copy that, add a new one. We generate the next ID, and the new user is John or Jen, and Jen at, let's say, glassfish.ee. All right, so now we have two users in our database with key 1 and 2. Now let's implement our find all function. I'm going to be returning all the users that are available currently in my database. So I'm getting all the values from the database, and I'm returning an array list. Now that we've got everything, we should be able to test our application. You see how fast it is to implement a REST service. Now it's complaining that the user service cannot be injected. User service is not being found by the system. Oh, say we need to add a request scope annotation, because by default we need annotation to be able for our beans to be discoverable. So which is easily done. Now let's add a new user. Let's say Mike, and then Mike at glassfish.ee, and then you're going to see Mike is going to be added to the response. Key takeaway: start using Jakarta EE. Use Glassfish or Payara. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.